Yeah, response video to Luddite video. Yeah, it really is pretty funny. You mad, bro? Yeah, you mad, bro? Anyway, it's pretty funny. So let's just do the context thing here, okay? The basic accusation is that these people are supposed to be smart, right? And you basically say to them, look, you're essentially playing God. You're saying you're going to decide for somebody else. You're going to gamble with their money, so to speak, for your pleasure. You like gambling, and so you're going to pick up their welfare, and you're going to roll dice with it, and you're not going to accept any complaints when you lose all their money. And that's going to be a fact of the circumstance. If 10 of you are at the tables, you know, a certain percentage, a certain third of you are going to end up creating disability, creating some kind of liability. And you all want to just say, it's not my fault. And of course it's your fault. No one forces you to play the tables. And certainly don't play the tables with somebody else's welfare. You can't find something else to do with your time than to subject somebody to your preferences, essentially. You're, like I said, you're so overtly arrogant. The very idea that you think that the world is in a nice enough condition that your child would like, knowing that, oh, you've acquired $20 trillion worth of national debt that I have to pay. Yeah, you're going to expect to retire, and you're going to expect me to go to work 1/3 of the hours I'm going to work to pay your bills. And I'm supposed to say, what, you're rational, you're sensible? It sounds like you're just growing slaves. That's what it sounds like. It doesn't sound like you love children. It sounds like you just want to exploit them. You want to be entertained by them when you want to be entertained, and when you don't want to be entertained, you want to send them off to the institutional complex to get properly programmed and brainwashed. And then you want to sit there and just lie to them, because you don't want to have to tell them the truth, you know, about anything ever. But yeah, so who's the arrogant, obnoxious piece of shit here? I mean, you're saying that it's good enough because I like the smell of this ass. They're going to like shoving their face in the ass that is life. So, you know, there's no argument here about who's the first arrogant. You're the arrogant, obnoxious asshole. And all the other opponents are, all the Frankensteins are asking you to do is give me a rational paragraph, jackass. Give me some sort of rational paragraph explaining any imperative or any excuse for why you should be playing with this thing, playing with this fire. And you won't do that. And all you do is have a tantrum because they are going to oblige you to come up with a rational paragraph. And you won't do it because you suck.
And just when I thought Mintam was capable of engaging in philosophic discourse, Jesus, I'm forced to eat crow the size of reflective of his ego.
Well, yeah, it just shows your erraticacy, right? I mean, it's on again, off again, on, off. Yeah, so you can't seem to regulate your emotions, and you can't seem to regulate or have any kind of consistent or reliable opinion on anything. So why the fuck am I even listening to somebody who can't even reliably assess whether somebody is intelligent or not? Yeah, fuck you.
God damn it, Mintam, the narcissism that stems from you.
Oh, the narcissism, again, this word. Yeah, of course, I'm right, you're wrong. So yeah, of course, in that sense, I'm narcissistic, right? None of you assholes have come up with anything rational as a counter-argument to anything I've said. Not a single rational fucking sentence. All you've done is compare me to Hitler or do some other kind of bullshit, but you haven't even come close to making something called a rational argument that gives me some sort of reason to think, oh, gee, that's a challenging argument they just made. Where is it? Where's your most, you show me your most challenging argument. What, is it the magical, you can't prevent a harm argument because the person that's going to be harmed doesn't exist yet? Is it that brilliant one? If I cure, tuberculosis today, that somehow it won't be of any benefit because none of the people who will take the cure exist yet? Huh? Fuck you. Yeah, real rational.
The thought experiment that I propose involved the torturing of a child, and somehow this transitions into you volunteering yourself as a kind of Efil Christ. Oh.
As pointed out in the video, I've done this a long time ago, just to point out how confident I am that I'm right, is that I would, yes, put me in the public square, gut me, do whatever you want to do, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's how much I'm confident that this is the true value equation. And that's all it is. It's a statement of my confidence that I would rationally understand the simple math that it's worth 1,000,000 years of torture to end the reign of the morons.
I'd suffer to end suffering. I don't buy it for a second.
Right, and so that's just your what? Qualified by what? You don't buy it. You don't buy it. Why? How? How do you not buy it? How does it seem insincere? What is the evidence of the insincerity? Well, that's right. You don't have anything. You just have your fucking statement. Another accusation, unfounded, unsupported by anything. Why don't you just accuse me of having sock accounts?
I think that you are a coward, you are a fucking liar, and you are a sadistic freak. The kind of sick...
A liar? About what? You want to point to an exact statement that the lie is based on? Yeah, I mean, really. You want to have a duel over it? It'll be okay with me. Let's see if we can get the law changed to legalize dueling, and I'd be glad to pop you. Yeah.
Twisted asshole who would put a child on the cross just so that you can have something to yell about on YouTube in Mentam.
Put a child on the cross just so I would have something to yell about on YouTube. Again, how am I supposed to make any sense out of that? You are clearly, you don't have any capacity to understand the gravity of this circumstance. Literally trillions of animal sentience every day go through all kinds of horror and torment, okay, to feed the only thing that people value, which is the human gameplay. All right, and so they're all suffering to feed human gameplay. And the gameplay is obvious bullshit. It's just all a big fat sack of shit. And you want to pretend it means something. And the most meaningful bits that you can give us illustration of perfectly illustrate exactly the point. Right? You lied to the poor old deluded lady to make her feel better. Just more lies, more crap, more nonsense. Alright, and that's all you have, and that's what you have in the face of this. And I didn't even touch upon all the human suffering you're imposing by pretending you can somehow, my little piece of the garden is just fine. And not admitting that for you to have your rights, that means these other people have the rights, and these other people have the rights, and that means that kids are going to be put in all kinds of jeopardy. And you just won't acknowledge the responsibility. It's like some drunk driver saying, I never hit anybody, I never had an accident, and somehow that justifies drunk driving. I mean, it's just a preposterous evasion of responsibility.
Seeker of truth. Jesus! I can hardly believe that I would say something so insane. Fucking ideologue through and through.
You've had a bad microphone for like 3 fucking months, 4 months, I don't know, as long as you've been on YouTube just about. I mean, can't you fix this? It's a fucking headset. Jeez, I mean, get a used one on eBay, $5.
Absolutely out of your fucking head. I mean, you're out of your head because you're stupid in Mentam. That's...
Yeah, whatever. That's not going to do anything, right? You're stupid. I'm not going to prove it. I'm just going to say it. Okay, yeah, that's really not going to put a tiny dent in any part of me. Sorry, not even close.
The difficulty here. You're so stupid, you don't even understand the terminology involved in the argumentation.
I don't care about your terminology, actually. You're stupid. Let's nullifies knowledgeization and knowledgeabize about it. I mean, it's all kind of bullshit, right? You're going to have narratives for it's called a narrative and instead of just a story. Let's just concoct some kind of, it's an ontology instead of a... Yeah, it's just kind of like the silly context we engrand ourselves in. I mean, you want to use your bullshit jargon, go ahead and use it. I'm saying I'm totally unimpressed and totally uninterested in using your little faggoty language, okay? Go ahead, use your little pussy words, but I have no use for it, asswipe.
You don't know your own arguments, hence why you do things like Google search.
No, you don't know your own arguments, okay? It's absolutely preposterous to sit there and make analogies and call somebody monstrous because they would torture one individual to perpetuate life on Earth, when right now you're advocating that life on Earth should be perpetuated and that it will in fact torture millions of people. I mean, it's just silly. You insane fuckwit.
Word hedonism.
Again, you want to play with the word hedonism, go ahead and play with it, okay? All I did was point out that for 99% of the human race, okay, the use of the word hedonism has something to do with a woman's pussy or a woman's ass and not much else. So you want to pretend the word hedonism has to do with concern for risk aversion, even though there's no examples of a hedonist who's risk averse. Go ahead and play with your fucking words. Go ahead and abolish the goddamn words. I don't give a fuck. You're the one introducing them into the conversation, not me. I don't give a damn. I'm just going to pretend, fuck it. I don't have to deal with that concept. You want to deal with that concept? You go ahead and do it. I'm going to deal with concepts like good, bad, pleasurable, displeasurable, attractive, repulsive. Okay, you want to play with your word? Go ahead, faggot. Oh yeah, by the way, faggot's just a word too, right? They're all just words, okay? And you want to play with them? Play with them, asshole.
Us. This isn't even philosophy 101,
Yeah, whatever. You get to declare what philosophy is. Well, guess what? What philosophy is evolution, okay? Philosophy is science, something you know nothing about whatsoever. All right, so you've read your little elitist philosopher books by insane people, actual insane people, okay, Nietzsche. And you're going to tell me they're speaking the truth, even though it's all convoluted mishmash, whatever they call that pie, where they miss meat or something. They just throw whatever they want to into the grinder and call it pie. Well, go ahead. You eat that shit. I ain't eating it, and I ain't selling it.
Retard. I discuss a case of empathy via epistemological humility, and you reference this person as a deluded asshole.
Yeah, well, why should I bother wasting my time with a concept? You want to worry about your you want to worry about you being humble in the face of what? The facts we have learned? I don't think there's any room for any need for humility anymore, okay? We have conquered most of the sciences substantially, and all that's left is the details. We know where our psychology came from. It's 4 billion years of evolution, and you want to pretend that empathy is a source of wisdom? Then go ahead, asshole, but you're just being an asshole. Empathy is just an emotion, and for most people it's a conditioned response, okay? They're going to react empathetically based on how cute something is. And that's the end, beginning and end of the word. It's an emotional reaction, and really philosophers should be way the fuck above that. And if you can't understand that philosophers should be above talking about how they feel about life, well then you're too fucking stupid.
Fuck you, choke on shit for 1,000 years, you stupid sadistic fuck.
Yeah, well whatever, get cancer and die. Fuck you too.
You still defend the way that you act like a child, kicking and screaming, like a monkey throwing fecal matter. And people have become
Oh yeah, well at least I'm throwing it with a decent microphone, douchebag.
so accustomed to it. Oh, that's just in Mentam, acting like in Mentam. God, in Mentam, your ego is the size of the fucking universe. It knows.
Right, exactly. And it's just going to get bigger and bigger because you people have nothing. You can't poke a pinhole in it. You can't do anything to diminish it one little tiny bit. With each encounter, I only get stronger and stronger because your arguments get weaker and weaker. As this video proves.
No bounds. Just admit to being an asshole and move on.
Well, guess what? I was the first one to do that 4 years ago, 5 years ago. That's right, the nature of the animal is to be an asshole. At least this asshole, though, isn't stupid enough to rationalize asshole behavior like you. Okay, you were an asshole to think you're competent to sit there and create life on planet Earth. And especially an asshole to do it in the context of the current circumstances, which have doom written all over them. And so don't tell me about how much you love children or love your children, because that's just a fucking lie.
No, it's beyond the pale for you.
I mean, a lie in the obvious context that you have done absolutely nothing to fix the world first. Nothing. You're all birds who can't sit there and be bothered to build a decent nest.
The problem is, yes, you're stupid. You're not up to par. You don't even see the contradictions in your own philosophy. You still ramble on about responsibility, which is, of course, or this notion of ethical deservedness, which is contraindicated via your own causal determinism, and yet you...
No, causal determinism doesn't affect deserve one fucking goddamn bit. Not even the tiniest little goddamn bit does it affect anything. All right? If something's going to have to pay the price for dysfunction, what should it be? Should it be the dysfunctional or the functional? Well, obviously it should be the dysfunctional. The point isn't you don't go out and punish them for nothing. You punish them because there needs to be a fucking deterrent. Alright, so again, how am I committing a crime? I'm just simply saying that you should get what you impose. Alright, if you're going to sit there and play God, somebody should play God on you. You should be playing God with your own welfare, not somebody else's welfare. So you should get what you deserve. You should be manipulated and you should have your welfare so cavalierly played with by some asshole who thinks he knows what's best for you. That's what you deserve. You deserve the oppression you impose.
Go on. Your own philosophy of mind negates your ethics, and yet you go on.
Well, again, it doesn't negate anything. It only negates things when perverts and idiots like you can't figure out what the word determinism doesn't change any of the factual circumstances. It doesn't mean that something that you can't call something broken. You can't call something stupid. You can't call something asshole. Determinism doesn't change whether you're an asshole or not. You're still an asshole.
You're too dumb to see the inconsistencies in your own philosophy. Efilism has everything to do with emotionalism, despite the false advertising proffered us by it.
Oh, whatever. The only thing it has to do with emotionalism is the fact that we can get emotional about the fact of something actually being tortured and tormented, and when suffering is wasted. Yes, we should be emotional when we see suffering wasted, when there's something squirming under a car tire for no good goddamn reason. It should bother us. So yeah, that kind of emotion is expected to be expended. Alright, but all this other emotions that you're expecting people to base their philosophy on, some sort of empathy and guilt and all this other mishmash, is just that. It's rubbish. It has nothing to do with the truth of our existence, and it has certainly nothing to do with actual respect, which takes a little bit of brains to have, okay? It doesn't, you're not going to subjectively see value. Alright, because it's going to exist in the bat, and in the rat, and in the vole, and in the snake, and in all the dirty little creatures that you're going to say don't earn your empathy or your respect. And they do, by facts alone, by category inclusion alone. Philosophy, science, rather than your emotional religion.
Mintan. Oh, this is perfectly logical, perfectly rational. Well, let me bust this bubble for you, sick fuck.
Oh, try
The
again.
logic of Sade, i.e. Diametrically opposed to efilism, is perfectly internally coherent and logical, right?
I don't even know what that is. Do it again.
Bust this bubble for you, sick fuck.
Listen to this.
The logic of Sade, i.e. Diametrically opposed to...
The logic of Said diametrically opposed to efilism. How does this... Is this rational gibberish? Oh, no, it isn't.
Efilism is perfectly internally coherent and logical, right? One may torture a child for fun. He's not being illogical or irrational. He may be being a monster.
So where did this come up? Where is torturing a child for fun have anything to do with any conversation anywhere? No, that's right. Nowhere.
But not irrational. Stop fucking pretending otherwise. On your hands, and Minham says, when via his own causal determination.
Well, his microphone didn't work, but yeah, he's saying, okay, the blood is on your hands. That's right, it's on your hands. You're supporting the system. You're saying the biosphere should be enslaved to the human race's silly ambitions. All right, you're saying that the 1 million people who commit suicide every year should be enslaved to your silly ambitions.
Determinism, the blood is really on the hands of the Big Bang billions of years ago, right?
Well, again, that's just a cop-out, right? The Big Bang didn't have a brain, didn't have billions of neurons, didn't have 10,000 years of acquiring knowledge of how the world works. You have all of that. And yet you're sitting there again, pointing to the Big Bang and say, the Big Bang did it. I won't take responsibility for it. No, the fact is, if it continues with the sanction of the human race. The human race has the ability to change it right now, and so that's the decision. Now it's on you, okay? If you support it, you're either going to put up the stop sign or you're not. And if you don't put the stop sign up, you're responsible for everything that crashes now because you can put the stop sign up. It's not that difficult. You put your hand up and you say stop. And you're not willing to do it. I mean, look, if you don't vote for Jimmy Carter, Richard Nixon wins. It's just the way it works, asshole. It's a fact.
Fuck off with that shit. But, as opposed to Mintham, I do believe that agents are ultimately...
Well, Ronald Reagan wins, actually.
...responsible for...
Oh,
ultimately
great.
responsible for being a sadistic fuck. I hope that you choke on fecal matter.
Yeah, whatever. I'm the sadistic one, right. I'm the one advocating that nobody should be harmed for any reason unless it's a damn good reason. So you're going to call me the sadistic one. Right, and you're the asshole who says, I don't care how big a mess it makes. I don't care, is what you're saying, plain and simply. The Big Bang did it, all right? So don't be talking about who the sadist is, asshole. You're the one who's saying, I embrace the pain, okay? I say it's okay. I'm going to tell you it's okay, all right? You told your kids it's okay. Dying will be okay. Don't worry about it. Your cancer treatments will all be okay. Your divorce will be okay. Your herpes will be okay. Don't worry about any of that shit. It's all going to be okay. I can guarantee it for you. Fuck you. You're the sadistic one.
Million years. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, well, you want to do wish stuff, that's fine. I mean, I can't, I could explain all the, again, the, Hannibal Lecter board game, I'd love to play with, the piece called LudditeReturns. Yeah, go ahead, yes, because you don't deserve, you should get exactly what you deserve. You should get exactly what you're willing to impose. Fuck you. I hope you get exactly what you have earned. Ugh. Fuck you.